Peace and love. Thanks for being here this morning. The yoga of charity. You may know it as karma yoga, one of the four main branches of yoga. And we've been comparing these four main branches to Christian mysticism. You're likely a yogi in this sense that we're going to talk about today, if you are following 1 Corinthians 13. Faith, hope, and love abide, and the greatest of these is love. You've heard it at weddings, I'm sure. Agapo, agapao is more familiar to you as agape. That's the Greek. Agapaho is the Greek. But you probably know it as agape, as I said a second ago. It's also found in 1 John. The uncreated light is agape, is love. The greatest abiding presence or participation in the divine, with a capital P, the presence or participation, is love. This is bhakti yoga. We talked about it last week, meaning devotion, or we abide in the radiant presence, as we discussed. Ag-a-a-o, aga-apo, ag-ap. You wouldn't think that I actually put it phonetically so I could read the thing, but I did. Ag-ap-aho, ag-ap-aho. Oy, my brain is also translated as charity. Agape is translated as charity and the action of love in the world. Charity is an action of love inside your heart. God is love. And it's an action, agape is an action of love in the world. And charity is karma yoga. This may be a new understanding for you that yoga, karma yoga, is about charity, but it is. And you can change the moments of your life and the future of your life and your afterlife using karma yoga. I'm Peter Panagore, a near-death experiencer, dyslexic, ADHD, MDiv, and ex-clergy. Love. Namaste, brothers and sisters, and welcome to Not Church. And hello, my friends who are here live. Hi, Quiet Energy, and Andrew, and Tom, my neighbor over there across the harbor. I live in a harbor town. Obviously, Tom does too. Thanks for watching this recording live. I know it's snowing a lot on the East Coast or raining, so maybe everybody's inside today and joining us. Please let me know your thoughts and your comments in the chat or in the comments themselves as you listen. Welcome to all the people who are watching by recording. Most of the people who are in our community are watched by recording. So thank you for being here. Namaste. Peace to you all. So let's get centered for just a moment before we explore this subject of karma yoga. So a few breaths together, calming, centering. Up your spine. Down your spine. Relax. I got ordained in the Christian church and I began serving churches and towns 7 years after my first NDE, and I was hiding out in the church, as I've said before. My four branches of yoga practice started the year that I died. So 7 years into it, I was deep into the practices. I returned from heaven, and we talked about this last week, with an extra super duper dose of divine energy, of bhakti yoga. I mean love. I mean devotion. I mean the presence itself. And I found it in the Katha Upanishad the year that I died. I read about it, bhakti yoga. At Yale, and this keeps skipping on me, at Yale, I learned that mystical Christianity overlapped with bhakti, karma, raja, and jnana yoga. Those four that we've been talking about. Bhakti yoga was an NDE aftergift. I didn't do anything for it. It just came back with me as a divine calling toward oneness, as a movement toward this oneness, interiorly and exteriorly, because there's no difference between the two energetically. The pursuit of oneness has led me down the four yogic paths: bhakti, karma, raja, and jnana, all four of which I practiced and practice and taught in the Christian churches I served, albeit under Christian names: adoration, action, meditation, and knowledge, all of which can be found in the mystical literature and elsewhere. Today, we're going to discuss gospel Christian charity and its close parallels to karma yoga as found in the Baghavagita. Karma yoga is a path to spiritual liberation through action. For we know that faith without works is dead, says the Epistle of James. Karma yoga is the yoga of selfless action or duty. Christian charity is agape action. Both practices negate attachment to self. Karma yoga is primarily associated with the Bhagavad Gita, an ancient Indian scripture. It's totally worth reading. In the Gita, as it's nicknamed, in the Gita, Lord Krishna explains to the warrior Arjuna that one can attain spiritual liberation, salvation in Christianity, moksha in Hinduism, by selflessly performing one's duty or dharma. Maybe you've read The Dharma Bums by Jack Kerouac. Selflessly performing one's duty, one's dharma, without attachment to the results. That's the key, without attachment to the results. This means doing one's work with dedication to the higher purpose. Oh, to the oneness of being, to the higher purpose without being swayed by personal gains or losses, because karma yoga is not transactional. You don't give to get in karma yoga. You give and you get as a result, not because you want the getting. You want the giving. In practical terms, karma yoga and Christian charity involve engaging in everyday activities with a mindset of serving others and contributing to the communities or your family or your friend group's welfare. And here's the kicker: without seeking personal credit or attachment to the outcomes. You meet someone who's homeless on the street and they need some money. And you think, oh, they're going to use it for drugs. Maybe they will, but that's not your motivation or intention. Yours is to give in order that they may eat. And if you carry that in your heart, what they do with it isn't really your karma, it's theirs. This selfless service purifies the heart and the mind, leading towards spiritual growth, which is what we want, and understanding. Now, there once was a man named Bob who showed up in my church office unannounced one day and swept me, literally, cancel everything on your calendar, and swept me away to the city to buy a Yongchang grand piano for the church, which he named the children's piano, so every child might feel free to use it. And keep my name out of it, Bob said. I want to be anonymous. Bob gave millions and millions to our hospital, our opera house, the food pantry, the YMCA, among others, and supported 15 impoverished college students with full payment, including a monthly stipend and a $10,000 a year amount of dough to the pastor's discretionary fund for the support of anyone in need. And he did this anonymously. He took no credit for his many gifts. Now you know, Tom. You probably knew already because I probably told you, because Bob has passed on. Bob said to me, when I was young, a rich man helped me. Now it's my turn. Anonymously, without attachment to the outcome or his own egoic trumpeting of his largesse. Now, karma yoga and Christian charity are understood as ways to live a meaningful, purposeful life. And they can be practiced by anyone regardless of their spiritual beliefs or disbelief or life circumstance. Single moms are living karma yoga as they care for their child hour after hour. Same with dads, same with moms and dads, but single moms in particular, there's a lot more of them. And they're doing the heroic duty of karma yoga. Because karma yoga emphasizes action as a means to transcend the ego. This is what happens to them in the process, whether they realize it or not. And then they realize a unity with it, and often with a single mom, with a child or children. But unity is realized with all beings in this process, encouraging a life of ethical conduct, altruism, and compassion, not just for human beings, but for nature. And here are 4 keys to help you understand. You renounce the results. You give up the results of your actions as a spiritual offering. That's the spiritual offering, is you give up your attachment to the results instead of trying to um, keep them for yourself to show the world. Now, I'm all for naming things if people want to give a huge amount of money in order to build a building for the YMCA, for instance. I'm all for that. They want to do that, that's totally fine. But there is a higher calling, and that's the non-self aggrandizement. I'm not doing this action from my own ego, whatever the action is, large or small. Acting without attachment to the results or outcomes. You don't know whether the homeless guy is going to use the money for food or drugs. You don't know. But you're not attached to the results. You act selflessly in the service of others. That's number 3. You act selflessly in the service of others. You give when you can. And 4, learning kindness and compassion without an expectation of gain. You're not getting something out of this. Not only are you not attached to the results, you're not getting anything out of it. There's no, pat on the back. These 4, karma yoga, the yoga of charity, that's the opposite of what the world teaches, where everything is transactional. And I don't have anything against transaction. I really don't. But it's not a spiritual journey. Only the thing about the selfless action is it detaches us from our egoic selves. That's its purpose. It's a self-denial. It's in Islam a surrender. It's a selfless action. It's a charitable pathway into heaven and heaven into you. And in the parable of the Good Samaritan, Luke 10, you know this one? The parable is a classic example of Christian charity. It teaches the importance of helping those in need, irrespective of their background or social status, irrespective of where they come from or who they are, demonstrating compassion and neighborly kindness. The Sermon on the Mount, Matthew 5-7. Jesus' teachings about the loving of one's enemy or enemies, the giving to the needy, and the doing, here it is, and the doing of good deeds secretly, without seeking recognition. And these reflect the essence of Christian charity. The essence of Christianity is the same as the essence of karma yoga. It's about selflessness, love, and caring for others, motivated by a genuine compassion rather than by a desire for personal gain or public acclaim, which is okay if that's what gets the building built, that's fine, but it doesn't grow the person spiritually. It may benefit the society, it probably does. Heck, I use the buildings at the Y that are named after people. They benefit all of us, but we're talking about the end of attachment to self here. And the mystical Christian concept of agape, selfless love, it invokes the near-death experience understanding of God. That's the thing of it. Agape invokes this NDE understanding of love. When I came back, I saw, I felt, lived, and oh my gosh, there it is. There it is in the Baghavagita. There it is in the Sermon on the Mount and the Samaritan good story and the epistles. Selfless love. Agape is charitable, selfless, altruistic, and unconditional. not attached to the results. Agape describes the love, capital L, humans show toward each other in the beloved, capital B. Agape describes not only the experience of the beloved inside yourself, because it is the bhakti presence of devotion, the I am who I am, the love itself is this thing, is this calling, but and in its expression in the world through you, through me, through us. This love that we show each other, that we live through giving, through charitable giving. And I don't just mean money. I mean of self. And when we give to others, we give to the beloved, the big beloved, the guru above, because there is oneness. And we not only give to the oneness, we become that as we give, because agape is central to Christianity. And it calls us toward love beyond our feelings, because we're not talking about the feeling of love, and beyond the results in meaningful action for and towards others. In the Gospel of Thomas, Logion 3, states, if those who lead you say, see, the kingdom of God is in the sky, then the birds of the sky will precede you. If they say to you, it's in the sea, then the fish will precede you. Rather, the kingdom is inside of you, and it is outside of you. This suggests, along with others, that the path of the inner spiritual awakening and realization parallels the self-realization aspect of karma yoga. Yeah. From devotion, selfless charitable action arises. From devotion, selfless charitable action arises. From charitable action, devotion arises. They feed each other. Karma yoga feeds bhakti yoga, and vice versa, in a positive feedback loop, where this system of action in the world and devotion increases and amplifies each other. This is my experience of practicing bhakti, getting that gift, and practicing karma yoga with bhakti. Now, next week, we're going to examine how Raja, or meditation, supports these two. And I practice these because they grow the presence in me. That's why I do this. I cling to this. I want this because this is what the beloved is and was on the other side. This is a trickle of it. This is a filtered version of it, but it's close enough for me here. And I practice these because they grow the radiance inside of me, this divine energy that can be felt and transferred. It is sent through microphones and lenses, from person to person, from trees to me, from butterflies to you. Now, I must decrease for the light to increase, as John the Baptist indicated to Jesus at the awakening at the Jordan River, at his awakening at the Jordan River. And for Christians, today's Epiphany, which is the last day of Christmas, and one of the stories that's read at Epiphany is the awakening of Jesus at the Jordan River. Just letting you know. Now, if you seek self-realization by practicing karma yoga or Christian charity, you'll benefit your spiritual journey. You will. But paradoxically, this isn't transactional. It isn't, hey, God, hey, Brahman, I'll practice Christian charity, karma yoga, if you give me self-realization, eh? That's transactional. The problem with that idea is the me in that sentence. The solution is the practice of selflessness that gives up the desire for the results, that stops the story I tell myself in my head about who I am. It stops the stories in our heads that we tell ourselves about who we are. Selflessness does that. And it allows room, it creates space for the presence of the divine. And being kind, charitable, and compassionate doesn't mean putting yourself in danger. Don't put yourself in danger or try to find personal value in a family or community system by being the overworked person who gives and gives and gives just so they can get some recognition until there's nothing left to give. Karma, yoga, and Christian charity, they apply to us too. Charitable to myself, karma yogic to myself. Be sure to stand up for yourself when others want to use you because of your kindness and your giving nature. Give yourself some kindness by refusing kindness that you are being manipulated into, by refusing kindness from those who are manipulative toward you or bullying. In this way, you take back your power by being charitable to yourself. Christian charity and karma yoga, they're small actions driven by love, compassion, and a deep sense of responsibility toward others, aligning with the teachings of the mystical Yeshua, the oneness teacher, who tells us in the Gospel of John that we can be like himself, by which he meant we can be one with him, one with God, like he was one with God. Make them one, as you and I are one. It goes beyond a single act of giving and encompasses a way of living that reflects the Christ consciousness of love and compassion in everyday interactions, not perfection, just the best we can do by bringing ourselves present, by seeing the other person as a human being, not an enemy or a person to be. And I'm competitive. Okay, I like competition. I like competitive sports, but I don't compete with people for. How do I phrase this? I like competitive sports, but I I'm not competitive in my interactions. The less I'm present in my interactions, the less I attach to the outcomes or my own action, the more I'm able to be present and live in my karma yoga of compassion. I'm not sure I've said that very well. That's why I should stick to the script and work on these things. Um, so, what actions in your life, what things that have you seen people do you think constitute karma yoga? Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the comments, and go and live charitably. The greatest of these is love, in here and out there. So thanks for spending your precious time with me this morning. Thanks for your financial gifts, which really totally make this not church time possible. And the Mystic Tea Salon that's coming up next at the top of the hour. Find the link in down below. It's on Zoom, and it is a worldwide community of mystical experiencers and seekers who speak from compassion, kindness, authenticity, humility, and experience. Find the link in the show notes. Visit peterpanagore.love. And I'll see you in a couple of minutes at the top of the hour. Thanks for being here today. Hi, Amy. Hi, Lee. Thank you, Lee. Wendy, I practice it because it is who I am. To drop the practice would be spiritual death. You are a very giving person, Wendy. I know that personally. Thank you, Peter. This is a wonderful talk. Thank you very much. Much to think about. Think about it. Tell your friends. Talk about it. Always so grateful for you. Thank you. The why is more important than the what in so many ways. That's right. This gets to intention. The why are you giving is more important than the what. Right? You're welcome, Rev. Thank you, Kate and Catherine. Hello, Catherine. Didn't say hi to you before. Janet. Hello, Susie. Who else did I miss? Mary S. out there in Nevada. Martha. Diane. Good morning to you all. Peace and love. Thanks for being here. I'll see you at the top of the hour. Namaste. Peace be with you all.